What's up, everybody? Emory the Czar of the Playbook back with you once again for week number 4 of the Ivy League football preview. We have a lot to get into in this week's episode, but first, let's take a look at the Ivy League standings. There's a big game in the Ivy League on Friday night this week. Harvard takes on Cornell, and I'm a big fan of wide receiver Kim Wimberly and what he has been able to do this season for the Crimson out on a perimeter. He's their big-time playmaker. He's their go-to guy, and it'll be fascinating to see how Cornell matches up. But on the other side, I'm more interested in how Harvard will match up versus Cornell's dual threat at quarterback in Jamison Wang, who had 380 yards of total offense last weekend and 3 touchdowns. He does it well on both ends of offense, and he's going to be a big-time player and factor in this ball game. In another game featuring 2 Ivy League opponents, we have Dartmouth taking on Yale, and Dartmouth is coming off of 2 overtime losses. Now, I know those can be soul-crushing for a football team, but if there is one squad that has a resolve to quickly get things back on track and redirect their season, it is the Big Green under Buddy Stevens. And Yale, to me, is coming off of back-to-back strong defensive performances, and that's going to bode them well in this ball game. If they can get off to a great start defensively, they normally have a chance of winning in the end. So it's going to be fascinating to see how both defenses come ready to play and which team can finish. There are 4 non-Ivy League games this weekend, and we'll start with Princeton taking on Lafayette, Patriot League foe. And for the Tigers, to me, it's all about how fast they can start on both sides of the ball, offensively and defensively. This is a young football team that they're going to face in Lafayette. It's all about whether or not they can get off the bus ready to go and put this team away. Brown takes on Central Connecticut State, and the Bears are looking to snap their 2-game losing streak. And the big reason why they haven't had the success in the last 2 weeks is because they haven't started in the first quarter well, and they just haven't played good football in the first half. They turn it on late, but they have to start these games how they finish them. Now, Central Connecticut State is looking for their first victory of the season, but if you're Brown, in order to keep them winless, you have to start this game how you tend to finish it. So I'm excited to see how they respond coming off of 2 straight losses. Columbia plays host to Wagner, and if you're Columbia in this ball game, you have to like how your defense played against the red-hot Princeton Tigers last weekend, but your offense, those turnovers kind of put your offense behind the 8 ball, and you just couldn't get out of your own way. So it shows you that if you turn the ball over, it's going to be hard for you to come away victorious on game day. But when you are playing complementary offense, your defense and your special teams gives you confidence that you can hang your hats on those 2 units, that they'll be able to close out opponents. And I'm looking forward to seeing if they can get back on the winning track this weekend against the Seahawks. And lastly, we look at the surprising Penn Quakers, who are undefeated right now at 3-0 as they head into their game against Georgetown. And this defense for Penn has been phenomenal. 2.4 yards a carry, only 5 yards a pass given up, and only 2 touchdowns scored on this defense all season. So their defense is championship ready. Offensively, there's a little bit more work to do, and I think their third down offense could use some tightening up. And if they're able to sustain these drives along with this dominating defense, they're going to be tough to beat as the season goes on. So that's it for this week's edition of the Ivy League football preview. I am Emory the Czar of the Playbook. Be sure to follow me on all of my social media accounts. And for more Ivy League football coverage, keep it locked here on ESPN+.